About the small matter of me going on a blind date until the day of the wedding. www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Will the other half I met during the blind date be happy after getting married? The highly praised answer to this question is as follows. I think it's okay. My significant other and I met on a blind date. We're about the same age, and she's a little older than me. When we first got together, there was a big income gap between us. She earns a few $100 to $1,000 a year. https://www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Is there a possibility in Chapter 1 that it is your blind date? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push, Su Xingjie, sister. Swan, when are you available recently? I will introduce you to a blind date, my best friend. Swan, who was coding, glanced at her phone. Swan. Thank you for the invitation, I politely declined. After replying to the message, he continued coding. Su Xingjie, sister. Are you sure you won't come? My best friend is a big star, beautiful and has a good personality. Swan was too lazy to respond to the new news displayed on his phone. He and Su Xingjie have been siblings for over 20 years. Based on his understanding of Su Xingjie, this kind of good thing is 100% less likely to happen to him. No, it's still 100% conservative. 10,000%. Su Xingjie, sister. You don't believe me, do you? I'll guarantee you with my personality. Swan laughed when she saw the news. He stopped coding and picked up his phone to send a voice message. Su Xingjie, your personality. Don't even guarantee me, the dog shakes its head when it looks at it. After replying to the message, he stretched lazily. I finally finished coding today. 4,000 words, no more, no less, after work. He said he closed the update interface of Star Breaking Sky. To be honest, when I watched Do Pat Sung Chi back then, I didn't think potatoes were awesome. Now think about it, the potatoes at that time were really amazing. At the age of 10, I earned $1,000,000 per month, and I have already traveled far and wide. I can't even copy this score. It's not entirely true to say it's a time of travel. After all, I have been living on Blue Star for over 20 years, so to be more precise, I should be a semi-indigenous and semi-adventurer. Speaking of which, I feel a bit miserable. A traveler actually makes a living by writing novels. Thinking of these, his heart felt somewhat melancholic. Su Anshuan took a glance at the manuscript fee in his own back end. Nodding at 10,000 yuan, there's still some improvement, isn't it? The place where I am currently located is a third-tier small county town below Hangzhou, with a housing price of 81 square meters. Excluding food, drink, and daily expenses, there can be around 6,000 left each month. Well, in 10 years, I will be able to afford a house myself. Shit. Is there a shortcut in life that can be taken like a wealthy woman? By Fume. The kind that can save 60 years of detours. It has been proven that eating too much hardship in life can drive people crazy. While daydreaming, the new news on the phone successfully pulled Suan back. Su Xingjie, sister. Location, I have given you the address. It's up to you whether you go at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Su Xingjie, sister. I will transfer 10,000 yuan to you, Su Xingjie, sister. Buy yourself some clothes and tidy up well. P.S. This money was given by my best friend. At the moment Swan saw the transfer, she was completely energized. Damn it. Not actively collecting money and having ideological problems. Swan was lost in thought as she looked at the chat records. He didn't know why an extremely absurd idea came to his mind. What if the other party is really a big star? What if? I never want to be single. But I also have a premonition of getting married late. I don't know why the computer's NetEase Cloud playlist suddenly added this song. His playlist is a bit unique, all of it is local music. Because all the songs in this playlist were recorded by him himself. This is not particularly difficult for Suwon, who graduated from the music college. As for why not post these songs? When he graduated from college, he would look for several record companies. How to say it, let's talk about it, and finally Suwon summarized a conclusion. He insisted on signing a contract with you even though he could snatch it directly. Due to the difference between Blue Star and Earth, both singers and actors have a list. If you want to post a song, you need to sign a company first. Only by signing with the company can one qualify for the list. So the conditions that record companies offer to newcomers are extremely harsh. A 19-point contract with a monthly salary of $5,000. Isn't this equivalent to free labor? In the end, Suwon thought for a moment and made a resolute decision to write a novel. I don't know if it counts as crossing the golden finger, but Suwon remembers everything before crossing. Although it may not be possible to achieve 1.2.1 replication, it is sufficient. But it was only after he opened the book that he sadly discovered something. Writing novels is a dead end. A full attendance of 1,500 yuan per month, and it's only available on the shelves. It seems like more than 10,000 yuan per month, right? However, there is a free period of about 1.5 months for writing novels, and rounding it down is equivalent to 2 months of free work. Moreover, it takes a few months to gradually accumulate and there isn't as much money in the first few months. On average, the annual income is around 700 to 800 yuan per month. And it can't be interrupted yet. No rain or wind. How to say it, as the saying goes, writing a novel is a dead end. Swan once again turned her gaze to the chat records with Su Xingjie. The address is a coffee shop, and the time is about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. The coffee shop is quite close to me. Well. He decided to go purely because he was quite close. It's definitely not driven by personal gain. Absolutely not. He ordered takeout and took a shower before the takeout arrived. To be reasonable, writing novels also has a fatal flaw. That is to break away from the crowd and become a dead end. He hasn't been out for almost 2 months. Tidy up this face and it looks quite handsome. After washing up, the takeout arrived just in time. Ah, thank you. After picking up the takeout through the door, Suwon went back to the computer desk in the bedroom and found the anime she hadn't finished watching before, watching and eating. At 2 p.m., in a certain coffee shop. A girl wearing a pink hoodie sat in the coffee shop, looking around. She has fair skin, and the most eye-catching ones are her long legs that make countless leg controllers ecstatic. She is wearing a pair of brown leather boots on her feet. I wore a pair of black shorts on my lower body. The pink hoodie also features a black bra underneath. Due to wearing a black bra, the perfect shoulder and neck line is clearly visible. If you only look at your figure, you can be aware of one thing. She went to the right place with all her flesh. She has fair skin and the most outstanding features are her eyes and nose. Those eyes look very agile even without beautiful pupils or eyelashes. She is not the kind of girl who looks very distant. On the contrary, because her face shape and hairstyle are single ponytails, most people only have 2 words in their hearts when they see her. Sweet girl. In fact, a single ponytail can highlight a person's appearance, and a good-looking girl wearing a single ponytail will show more youthfulness and vitality. At this moment, she sat by the window with 2 black Bluetooth earphones stuffed into her ears. She held her phone in one hand and a cup of fresh coconut latte in the other. After taking a sip of coffee, she couldn't help but send a message to her best friend. Why hasn't your brother come yet? Are you sure you told him? There was a quick response from there. I said it, but he may not go. After hearing her best friend's voice, her eyebrows furrowed slightly. You didn't tell him that the one waiting for his blind date is a beautiful woman. Or a big star. Know what kind of person is he that is not interested in beautiful women? I said it, but he doesn't believe it. Oh, Jiang Bao, if you want me to tell you, just find someone in the industry to deal with your parents. Those little fresh meats in the TV series are all pretty good looking. Upon hearing this, she couldn't help but clear her throat. Do you want to eat melons? My melons are all cooked, and I'm worth 200 yuan. There are actors' PCs, filming assistants, and those who have infected their ex-girlfriends with HIV. Well, do you still think those people can be cool and cute? They can also make your life worse than death. Treasure. While chatting, she saw a handsome guy walking into the coffee shop and took a photo with his phone to send to her best friend. Oh, look at the handsome guy. You can easily come across this, you have to watch TV. Is there a possibility? That's your blind date. Chapter 2 is over. People who are in a hurry have become themselves. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push, no, Su Xingjie. I've been your best friend for so many years, and you didn't even say that your brother is a thin bran. After hearing this, Su Xingjie almost immediately replied. You call this fine bran? Jiang Xuening, I see you're really hungry. For Jiang Xuening, Su Xingjie doesn't understand that Suan is a fine bran. No, this kid grew up watching him grow up from a young age. Does he have a certain advantage? Jiang Xuening seemed to have never clicked on that voice message. Stop talking, don't disturb me and flirt with handsome guys. Speaking, Jiang Xuening closed the chat interface with Su Xingjie. She stood up and waved at the entrance of the coffee shop. Swan quickly noticed Jiang Xuening and looked up and down at her. After looking around, Suan unconsciously looked out the window. Today, not only is the sky clear for thousands of miles, but there is also a great wonder. The sun is setting in the west. I, Suan, unilaterally announced that Su Xingjie's position in my heart has surpassed that of rhubarb. By the way, De Huang is the little dog that my parents keep. Swan walked towards Jiang Xuening. Jiang Xuening stood up and extended her hand. Jiang Xuening. Swan also reached out his hand and said, Swan. Sit down. I didn't know what you wanted to drink, so I ordered a cup exactly like mine. Swan looked at the coconut latte in front of her. It's pretty good. Reasonably, after spending so little time with Jiang Xuening, Suan really felt that she was a bit familiar. What big star is he really? Your sister told you all about my situation, right? Actually. The reason why I went on a blind date is because my parents are pushing me so hard. Jiang Xuening spoke as her mouth instinctively bit the straw. This is a manifestation of her nervousness. Because she never came for a blind date at all, she just wants to find someone to go home and deal with her parents. But this kind of thing. It seems like deceiving someone else's feelings no matter what. Especially the younger brother who is still a best friend, although Su Xingjie knows her thoughts. But Jiang Xuening still has some difficulty speaking up. Her hand involuntarily clasped against the wooden table. If you have anything, just say it. When Jiang Xuening didn't know how to organize language, Suan spoke up first. How did you tell I had something to do? Is it so obvious? I've sung and acted before, can't I hide this little thing? Just as Jiang Xuening looked curious, Suan pointed to the sawdust on the table. You've already finished that cup of coffee. Ah. Upon Suan's reminder, Jiang Xuening finally remembered and smiled awkwardly, putting the cup aside. After drinking, still smoking, what are you sucking on? Do you want to breathe air? I didn't pay attention. Hee hee. Jiang Xuening didn't know how to conceal her embarrassment, so she could only give a dry laugh. Immediately after, Jiang Xuening turned her gaze to the coffee table. Know what quality is this coffee table? If you don't understand, do first blind dates always feel so awkward? Cough. Well, I really have something to do. Jiang Xuening was originally still thinking, but Su En's words completely confused her thoughts. Since you don't know how to lay the groundwork, then don't lay the groundwork. It's like this. My parents are urging me to bring a boyfriend back, so. That's why I came for the blind date. Jiang Xuening felt inexplicably nervous for some reason. She never felt so nervous on stage. So what? So. Can you be my boyfriend for a few days? It's about a week. After learning about Jiang Xuening's true intentions, Su Xingjia's position in Su En's heart fell back to that of rhubarb. Are you joking? My current state is not even suitable for dating. Don't mention being a fake boyfriend for Jiang Xuening. That. I can give you money, please help sister. At this point, he won't feel that I'm humiliating him when he raises the money, will he? Jiang Xuening regretted saying this sentence. After all, as a boy, he should be quite sensitive in terms of money, right? Although Jiang Xuening has not been in a relationship, she also knows that this kind of thing can hurt a boy's face. She looked at Su-en with a worried heart. Swan originally intended to refuse directly, but after Jiang Xuening said this, he wavered. Although I really want to help you, I also have a job on hand, so. It's okay, if you don't agree, then. We need to add money. Ah. Jiang Xuening originally intended to say, it's okay if you don't agree. But he wants to add money. Jiang Xuening couldn't help but laugh for a moment. She laughed because Su-en was so serious and finally said she wanted to pay more. If it were someone else, Jiang Xuening might just leave. But the other party is the younger brother of a best friend. This gives Jiang Xuening a very strange feeling. How to say it, she thinks Su-en is quite cute. She heard Su Xingjia's roast about Su-en before. He said it was his first time going out to eat with a girl, but they didn't like him and humiliated him for not having a house or a car. He ordered a bunch of dishes and then used the excuse of going to the bathroom to leave on his own. Finally, his parents found out about this matter and he threw out a sentence, "She didn't even like me, why should I spoil her?" It is said that his parents took turns beating him when they were young. So when it comes to the words "she just had to pay more," Jiang Xuening finds Su-en quite interesting. Ha ha ha. No problem, plus 50,000 yuan a day, is that enough? After Jiang Xuening laughed, her dimples on both sides appeared, and she found Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com to make her smile very infectious. The sunlight shone in and reflected on her face, causing Su-en to pause for a moment. He lost his mind uncontrollably. Jiang Xuening saw Su-en, who was lost in thought. A thought suddenly flashed in my heart. How about teasing him for a while? Well, if you satisfy me these days, not only is the money yours, but also my people, sister. How about that? Swan had already regained consciousness when he heard Jiang Xuening's voice, but after hearing what Jiang Xuening was saying clearly, he realized something. I seem to have been teased. I am a 7-foot-tall man, and after teasing, I must take responsibility. Of course, it is false to let Jiang Xuening take responsibility. He mainly wanted to see Jiang Xuening's reaction after being teased. That's what you said, I took it seriously. Swan stared at Jiang Xuening, who suddenly became flustered. No, Jiang Xuening suddenly felt her face start to heat up, as if time had come to a standstill. Looking at Jiang Xuening's flushed cheeks, Su-en pushed the cup of raw coconut latte that she had not drunk in front of her towards Jiang Xuening. Here, I'm not moving, you can drink. Jiang Xuening held the cup, bit the straw with her mouth, and sucked hard. In just a few seconds, I finished drinking a cup of fresh coconut latte. After drinking coffee, the cup was empty, and as Jiang Xuening was still sucking, the straw made a sizzling sound. She originally wanted to flirt with Su Anxuan and then saw Su En's flustered expression. But something unexpected happened even to her, feeling the burning sensation on her cheeks and the rapid heartbeat. It's over. People who are in a hurry have become themselves. How about discussing each other's opinions in Chapter 3? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push. Jiang Xuening didn't know what was wrong with her. She felt like her heart was about to jump out. Even though he didn't say anything thinking of this, the sentence Suan just said echoed back in her mind. That's what you said, I took it seriously. Seemingly ordinary, but at this moment, it has stirred up a huge wave in Jiang Xuening's heart. Jiang Xuening, who had never been in love before, had this inexplicable feeling for the first time. If you have to say what it feels like, that could be, her heart is in turmoil. Do you want to order another drink? Ah. No need. No need, let's go. Jiang Xuening was startled by Su An's voice and instinctively lifted her eyes, placing the cup aside. Can you come home with me tonight? My parents will let me go home for dinner tonight. I don't know why Jiang Xuening's eyes always dodge intentionally or unintentionally when they meet Suan. What's wrong with myself? How does it feel like the brain is going to break down? Ah, will I see my parents today? But I haven't prepared anything. Although it may be false, Suan and Jiang Xuening only met for a few hours. Reasoning. Even top actors need to be brought into character mode, so Swan is still a bit flustered. Jiang Xuening was stunned for a moment and met her parents. She thought Swan would talk about your parents. Although the meaning is similar, it gives people a completely different feeling. Even Jiang Xuening herself couldn't say what was different. Anyway, it just feels strange. Jiang Xuening remained silent and nodded. Swan looked at Jiang Xuening. See you then. Who let themselves take the money? Suan, who has written novels, understands a truth. What does the Gold Lord Father say? For readers who ask for more tips, he always responds to their requests. Let's go then. Jiang Xuening remained silent and just nodded. Swan discovered a problem. Compared to when she first met Jiang Xuening, how did she feel like she had become stunned? And it seems that his face has also turned red. It's not hot in the coffee shop either. Oh, forget it, little problem. Swan didn't think about this issue anymore. He walked out of the coffee shop first, followed closely by Jiang Xuening. It should be 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon now, with a cooler climate and stronger winds. But Jiang Xuening didn't feel very cold. On the contrary, her face didn't seem as hot as before when the wind blew on her. The blush on his face gradually faded away. She turned her head to look at Swan. You drive, I feel a bit dizzy. Swan nodded and Jiang Xuening handed him the car key. The two of them got on the car, one in front and one behind, and Jiang Xuening shared the address of the community with Suan. At the beginning, I may indeed feel a bit dizzy due to the alternating heat and cold. But now she feels much better. She picked up her phone and opened WeChat. I don't know why I clicked on Su Xingjie. I clicked on it, so we need to talk about something. Jiang Xuening. Can you tell me more about Suan, such as what he used to do, what he is doing now, and what hobbies he has? Do we have to have a topic for chatting? I am definitely not interested in Swan. Absolutely not. He is a young man, how could I like someone smaller than myself? And it's also my best friend's younger brother. Well. That's it, Jiang Xuening. You're just looking for a topic. Jiang Xuening, who is doing a good job in psychological construction, is waiting for Su Xingjie's reply. Su Xingjie. You won't really take a liking to that kid, will you? After seeing the message sent by Su Xingjie, I opened the car window. That familiar burning sensation has reappeared. Jiang Xuening. How could that be? He's your younger brother. If you like him, you can't call him your sister like him. Jiang Xuening. I can't accept that alone. Su Xingjie. How do I feel like you're in a hurry? After seeing the message sent by Su Xingjie, Jiang Xuaning's typing speed was extremely fast, almost appearing in the afterimage. Jiang Xuaning. I don't have it. No. I'm just curious, forget it, I won't ask if you don't say it. Su Xingjie. Suan, male, age 22, height 180, he claimed his actual height to be 175, work. Writing novels, income. Throwing away my monthly pitfalls of around 10,000 yuan. Proficient in writing songs, but arrogant and didn't make it. The writing is quite good. Personality. Unknown, sometimes childish, sometimes arrogant, sometimes stingy. Hobbies. Money, beautiful women, black silk. Jiang Xuaning was about to put down her phone when she saw a message from Su Xingjie. 22. I'm 3 years older than him. Female junior, holding a golden brick. Jiang Xuaning. What's on your mind? Jiang Xuaning put down her phone and looked out the car window. After the thoughts in her mind dissipated, she continued to read the messages on her phone. I am 175 centimeters tall and 165 centimeters tall. Whom standing together should be quite compatible. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. She looked out of the car window again. After turning back again, she deliberately accelerated the speed of reading the news. He has also written novels. Can you still write songs? Did you write it well? How good is it? Jiang Xuaning's curiosity was immediately aroused. It's this personality. Jiang Xuaning couldn't help but laugh as she watched. Each of these is different from what I learned about Swan today. She has good reason to suspect that Su Xingjie is carrying private goods. The more she thought about it, the more she found the interaction mode between Suan and Su Xingjie interesting. Jiang Xuaning. Actually, your younger brother has a good personality. Looking for Shuyuan. www.zhaoshuyuan.com is not as bad as you said. As a sister, I advise you not to bring personal emotions into your writing. Oh, my treasure. After sending the message, Jiang Xuaning unconsciously burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, so there's a younger brother who's so interesting. Swan turned her head and glanced at her. What's interesting? After hearing Su An's voice, Jiang Xuaning instantly turned off her phone screen. Then he gave Su An a wary glance and said, Nothing. Nothing. You drive. Oh. If you don't want to tell me, why are you so nervous? After discovering that Jiang Xuaning was very nervous, Su An didn't continue to ask. Anyway, it's impossible to have a relationship with oneself. Swan continued to drive, and Jiang Xuaning secretly glanced at Swan driving. It's good if I didn't notice. It's good if I didn't notice. If he knew I was secretly getting to know him, what are you going to say? It means I simply want to get to know him. Or interested in him. Just as Jiang Xuaning was daydreaming, her phone screen suddenly lit up. Su Xingjie. Yo, it's still being maintained. Jiang Xuaning, who was originally having wild thoughts, suddenly became even more confused when she saw this news. She replied quickly once again, but this time she didn't deny it and instead felt a bit confident. Jiang Xuaning. I'm telling the truth, okay? Su Xingjie. Okay, right. Let me discuss something with you. Discuss. What's going on? Just as Jiang Xuaning was puzzled, Su Xingjie sent a message. Su Xingjie. How about we discuss each other's opinions in the future? Chapter 4. Dad, you don't understand him. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push, what does it mean to have different opinions? Su Xingjie. How about you call me sister and I call you sister. In law in the future. What and what why is it just a sister? In law. Don't say that we are not together now, we are really together. You and I can only be sisters. This is what Jiang Xuening was thinking in her heart. As for why she didn't send it to Su Xingjie, the reason is simple. If it were really sent out, it would seem like I had agreed. Jiang Xuening. Who wants to argue with you separately? After Jiang Xuening just replied to the message, the car stopped. Jiang Xuening looked up and said, "Is it here?" Jiang Xuening lowered her head and replied with a message. Jiang Xuening. I'm home, I'll tell you later. Su Xingjie. Alright, sister. In law. Jiang Xuening. I've already said it, we can't discuss each other separately. Su Xingjie. I know my sister. In law. Oh my. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. Jiang Xuening impatiently threw her phone aside. What's wrong? Suan casually asked. Jiang Xuening's condition hasn't been very normal since getting on the car. More precisely, after starting to look at the phone. Although Suan didn't know who she was talking to, the clattering sound of Jiang Xuening typing on her phone began to be heard incessantly. And it can be heard that she is becoming increasingly irritable. It's not because of you. Forget it, get off the car, it's okay. Jiang Xuening and Suan looked at each other and originally intended to say that it wasn't because of your sister. But halfway through the conversation, I realized something was wrong. It's so close, so close. I almost spoke faster than my brain. Because of me. No, oh. It's not because of you anyway. Forget it. I'm tired. Destroy it. I'm too annoyed about work, it's none of your business. Oh. Swan was getting off the car and said, can you say something else besides that in the future? Ah. Didn't you say it had nothing to do with me? Swan got off the car a bit confused. Jiang Xuening didn't know where her anger came from. He wouldn't think I was inexplicable, would he? I'm dying. I'm dying. Jiang Xuening followed closely behind and got off the car. First time meeting parents, just empty-handed. Although Suan has never had experience in this area, he understands the basic etiquette in this area. Especially the person I am meeting today is a bit special. If I were to take on a role, would the person I want to meet be my father? In law. Swan herself thinks it's quite fun. Ah. Oh. Oh. After Su An's reminder, Jiang Xuening finally remembered that she had indeed prepared something. What's going on today? How do you feel like you've forgotten everything? Does heart rate really affect intelligence? Jiang Xuening took out something from the trunk and handed it to Suan. This is the wine my dad loves to drink, it's a tonic. Swan glanced and nodded. Let's go. Speaking, Suan was carrying something and preparing to go upstairs. Looking at Suan's back, Jiang Xuening hesitated for a moment. Should we call him or not? Jiang Xuening clenched her fists tightly. Swan. Wait. At the moment of speaking, the tightly clenched fists gradually loosened. Swan turned to look at Jiang Xuening. Jiang Xuening ran to follow him and took the initiative to extend her hand. At the moment she reached out her hand, a slight blush appeared on her face. Looking closer, it feels like I'm drunk. Either. Or, hold hands, it makes you look more intimate. Otherwise, it's easy to break through. Speaking, Jiang Xuening's hand actively touched the fingertips of Su An's little finger. Jiang Xuening felt extremely flustered. This is her first time holding hands with a boy. She felt like a lively little deer was living in her heart now. Because she couldn't find the exit, the little deer ran into obstacles in her heart. It panics a little every time it hits its own heart. The chaotic little deer that only appears in novels at this moment. Calm down. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Just as she was extremely panicked, she felt her hands completely covered by a pair of big hands. For some reason, the little deer in her heart suddenly settled down. She looked down and found that her hand was tightly clasped with Su En's hand at this moment. Let's go. Jiang Xuening nodded, with a faint smile on her face. After going upstairs, Jiang Xuening rang the doorbell. She stood at the door and looked down at the hand held by Su-en. Before long, the door opened. The person who opened the microphone was a middle-aged man, wearing a white shirt and looking a bit overweight. His appearance is very friendly, with some resemblance to Jiang Xuening in his eyebrows and eyes. At the moment he saw Jiang Xuening, he naturally smiled and said, "Has Ning Ning come back?" "Dad." "Hey." Judging from the laughter in their conversation and Jiang Xuening's happy tone, it is clear that father and daughter should get along very well on a regular basis. The middle-aged man looked up and down at Jiang Xuening, and his smile narrowed when he saw his daughter's hand being held. Actually, convergence doesn't seem quite right, it's just not as natural anymore. His gaze shifted to Su-en, who quickly realized. "Hello uncle." Okay. It's pretty good." His gaze scanned the young man who had arched his own cabbage from top to bottom. Sometimes parents have complex emotions, and as soon as you graduate from college, you start asking about your feelings in various ways. However, when you actually bring your partner home, they will have a feeling. "My home was stolen." This situation is extremely common among female parents. After looking up and down, the middle-aged man couldn't help but make an evaluation in his heart. Zhaoshuyuan.com. Good kid. Jianzhong, who is it? Just as the middle-aged man was losing consciousness, a sudden sound came from inside the room. It's a woman's voice. "My daughter is back." Suddenly, a rapid sound of footsteps came from inside the room. A middle-aged woman appeared at the door and said, "Girl, Mom, Jiang Xuening's father Jiang Jianzhong and mother Haomei. They are all locals from Hangzhou. Earlier, Jiang Jianzhong resigned and started a business in the sea, so Jiang's mother resigned early and became a housewife. But Jiang Jianzhong loves his wife very much, and in his own words, those who love their wives will definitely have good luck. So Haomei's maintenance is very good, and her age is almost indistinguishable. Some happy people have no trace of time on their faces, only a touch of kindness and gentleness accumulated by time. Who is this?" At the first glance when Haomei arrived at the door, she saw the two tightly clasped hands. "Hello Auntie." Jiang Xuening was about to introduce, but before she could speak, she was interrupted by Jiang Jianzhong. "Ah. This is my daughter's friend." Jiang Xuening was a bit confused, "I didn't even introduce her." Just as Jiang Xuening was puzzled, Jiang Jianzhong suddenly grabbed his daughter's hand and separated her from Su-en. Then let his wife greet him from behind, while he led Jiang Xuening into the house. "This kid looks good, Dad will meet him first. You two can only be friends until I agree. So you don't have to separate us in public, do you?" "What's wrong with separating in public?" "No, it's just. It's no use telling you to be handsome. Dad, you don't understand him. If only chapter 5 were really good." You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push. Jiang Jianzhong frowned and realized that his daughter knew him well. She was able to say such words to prove that she really liked this boy, and he immediately changed his attitude. Changed the previous gentleness and kindness. "Girl, you haven't been in a relationship before. Love can be impulsive, but if you want a relationship to last, you must carefully observe and understand the other person." "Oh, I know, but Dad, this is the first time someone came to our house, and you separated us in front of him and even left him behind." Jiang Jianzhong suddenly laughed, it was the first time he had seen his daughter like this. "I haven't gotten married yet, so I turned my elbow out." Jiang Xuening doesn't know how to explain. She and Swan were originally fake. In case what if he gets angry? She turned around and glanced at Swan standing behind her. Uncle, Xuaning told me that you like drinking alcohol, so I prepared some. This is for tonifying the body. Jiang Jianzhong nodded. Signal Suan to put the purchased items aside. Judging from the status. Does Suan seem unaffected? And how do you feel like he's quite experienced? Jiang Xuaning breathed a sigh of relief. If Swan gets angry and doesn't play with her, it's over. Swan glanced at the busy mother Jiang in the kitchen. Uncle, let's talk to Xuaning first, and I'll go to the kitchen to help Auntie. Speaking, Suan took off her coat and walked into the kitchen. Hao Mei in the kitchen is preparing dinner. My daughter has returned, so she decided to add more dishes. In the living room, Jiang Jianzhong's face regained a smile and his eyes looked at Jiang Xuaning gently. Have you been busy lately? It's okay, but the pressure is quite high. If you're under a lot of pressure, go home. Dad doesn't have any other skills, but it's still easy to take care of you. Jiang Xuaning didn't know why she suddenly had a sour nose. She and Jiang Jianzhong were the type who talked about everything. No matter what difficulties he encountered, Jiang could give advice, but Jiang Xuaning didn't expect that when he said he was under a lot of pressure, his father's first reaction was to let him go home. She naturally snuggled up in Jiang Jianzhong's arms and hugged her father's arm. I also want to come back, but after coming back, won't it disturb the world between you and my mother? You finally don't have to worry, you should enjoy it. Jiang Jianzhong laughed heartily upon hearing this and said, we are all at this age, so what else do we need in a world of two? In our world, there is only you now. After hearing these words, Jiang Xuaning suddenly laughed. Dad, you're the best. Jiang Xuaning played coquettish with Jiang Jianzhong like she did when she was a child. Everyone has a boyfriend now, still so childish. Upon hearing 3 words about her boyfriend, Jiang Xuaning turned her gaze to Suan, who was busy in the kitchen. He seems to really know how to cook. A boy who can cook is really worth extra points in the eyes of girls. Watching Suan cook so skillfully, Jiang Xuaning suddenly became curious about the taste of the dishes made by Suan. In the kitchen, Swan, who was cutting vegetables and preparing to stir fry, suddenly sneezed. Ah! Sneeze. Are you okay? Why don't you go out and chat with them? Leave this to me. Hao Mei looked at Suan with concern. It's okay, Auntie. Do you often cook at home? A little bit. Swan does know how to cook, but after living alone for a long time, he has also become accustomed to eating takeout. Because cooking is really too troublesome. There is a saying that people who know how to cook are more inclined to cook for others, in order to achieve a certain degree of satisfaction. But just take a look and you'll be full. Swan is not that kind of person, he just thinks it's troublesome. In addition, his biological clock is abnormal and he only eats once a day, so he doesn't cook. After a busy period of work, dinner was finally ready. Swan cooked 2 dishes and spent the rest of her time playing. Hao Mei glanced at the father and daughter chatting. Stop talking, let's eat. Swan is responsible for serving dishes, while Hao Mei is responsible for serving dishes. As for the Jiang father and daughter who were chatting, they walked hand in hand to the dining table. Jiang Xuaning's gaze was deeply attracted by the braised carp held by Suan. This braised carp looks so appetizing. Mom, you're so good at it. That's not what I did. Hao Mei, who was busy in the kitchen, smiled and chatted with Jiang Xuaning. No, that's what Suan did. Jiang Xuaning looked at Suan with a hint of admiration in her eyes. If such a boyfriend can really catch up with him, I can't even imagine how exciting it would be. Jiang Xuaning also walked to the kitchen to help serve the dishes. The dishes will be served in no time. It's all her favorite food. Braised fish, braised pork belly, fried meat with chili. Fish-flavored shredded pork. Jiang Xuaning's gaze swept over every dish. This is the first time she has seen food, and she has the same mindset as when shopping. I want everything. Hao Mei helped Jiang Xuaning serve a bowl of rice, and then Jiang Xuaning started the sweeping mode. Not eating until today is all her disrespect for food. Jiang Jianzhong turned his gaze to Suan. Can you accompany me for a drink? As Jiang Jianzhong said, he had picked up Baijiu. It seemed that the attendant did not give him room to refuse. Just as Suan hesitated, Jiang Xuaning, whose mouth was already full, struggled to speak. Drink it, it's okay. I'll take you back later. It sounds a bit strange because her mouth is full of food. Swan couldn't help but laugh at the voice that sounded particularly like Crayon Shin-chan. Hao Mei glanced at Jiang Xuaning and said, eat slowly, no one is competing with you. Oh. Jiang Xuaning nodded and buried her head to continue eating. Then I'll have a drink with you. Jiang Jianzhong nodded and poured Suan wine. At the dinner table, Jiang Jianzhong seemed to be intentionally trying to get Suan drunk. I didn't drink much, but I kept adding alcohol to Suan. After Suan intentionally refused to drink, Jiang Jianzhong reduced the frequency of adding alcohol. I won't interfere with the matter between you and Ning Ning, but when it comes to finding a book garden at www.zhaoshuyuan.com, two people must make a decision. Ning Ning, this child, has had many ideas since childhood, so I never interfere with her. But I only have this one daughter, so she is everything to me. If he suffers any injustice, I will hold him accountable no matter what. Swan clearly has some upper hand. Uncle. I don't know why Jiang Xuaning suddenly became worried. She was a bit worried about Swan's condition, and also worried that Swan might say something wrong. That scene is interesting just by thinking about it. Jiang Xuaning helped Suan and said, Dad, he drank too much. Hao Mei also saw her husband's intentions and Suan's state. Old Jiang, why do you say these things while eating? Speaking, Hao Mei silently glared at Jiang Jianzhong. Hao Mei. Almost done. After understanding his wife's meaning, Jiang Jianzhong prepared to eat. Uncle, don't worry. I will definitely treat Xuaning well. After saying these words, Suan felt a bit dizzy and collapsed on the table. Jiang Xuaning didn't expect Suan to say that. She was stunned for a moment, but quickly regained her senses. After discovering Suan lying on the table, Jiang Xuaning looked at him. He won't have anything to do, will he? She could vaguely hear something. She listened closely and said, I will definitely treat Jiang Xuaning well. Due to the close proximity, Jiang Xuaning could feel the alcohol breath that Suan exhaled while speaking. Her ears were tickling from the blowing. Jiang Xuaning's heartbeat accelerated significantly, recalling what Suan had just said. She was suddenly moved and inexplicably lost. If only it were really good. Chapter 6. Sister, I have done so much for you, isn't it too much to make you commit to me? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push. Jiang Xuaning saw Suan's drunken appearance and suddenly felt that the food in her hand was not fragrant. She put down the dishes and said, Mom and Dad, I'm full. How did you just eat a bowl? Hao Mei's eyes were full of doubts, because as long as she cooked her own rice, Jiang Xuaning would start with at least 3 bowls. Are you really full? Hao Mei asked while preparing to get up and serve Jiang Xuaning a meal. I'm really full. After speaking, Jiang Xuaning stood up and helped Suan, who was already drunk, with her hands. It's really heavy. Jiang Xuaning draped Suan's arm over her shoulder. Then I helped him onto the sofa in the living room. Hao Mei and Jiang Jianzhong exchanged a glance. Hao Mei. It's all your fault. You insist on drinking. Now, it's over. Our daughter won't even eat. Jiang Jianzhong. Jiang Xuaning glanced at Hao Mei and said, Mom, do we have honey at home? Ah, there. There. Hao Mei went to the kitchen to find the honey and handed it to her daughter. Jiang Xuening searched around but couldn't find a suitable cup. Finally, she turned her gaze to the cup she usually drinks water from. She picked up a cup and poured a cup of honey water. After the honey was soaked, she frowned slightly. I always feel that there are some shortcomings. She saw a box of milk, bent down to take a box from inside, and removed the straw that came with the milk packaging. After opening the straw, put it in your own cup. After doing all of this, Jiang Xuening returned to Su En's side, handed him honey water to his mouth, and helped him pinch the straw. After seeing this scene, Jiang Jianzhong suddenly regretted it a bit. He regretted drinking Su En wine. You raised your daughter with great care, but at this moment, you are doing your best to take care of others, just like you are taking care of her. Suddenly, he felt the food in his mouth taste like chewing wax. He realized one thing, his little cotton jacket had become plush. But it's wearing someone else at this moment. Swan took a sip of honey water. Hot. Jiang Xuening was very close to Su En, so she heard it. Is it hot? Jiang Xuening tried to continue feeding, but Su En did not continue drinking. Jiang Xuening frowned slightly. She took out the straw and tasted it lightly. It's a bit hot. Hot, can't you just endure it? Although she thought so in her heart, Jiang Xuening still blew the honey water to her mouth. After confirming that the temperature had dropped, I put the straw back in. Cough. Why don't you send it back when he drinks like this? Jiang Jianzhong, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly spoke up. Oh, okay, wait for him to wake up at the bar. This time, Su En drank all the honey water. Looking at the honey water that was about to bottom out, Jiang Xuening didn't know why she had an indescribable sense of achievement. You're just being good. Jiang Xuening glanced at it as it was almost 9 p.m. Delaying further may disturb my parents' rest. How about? Send him back. Jiang Xuening extended a finger and shook it in front of Su En. What is this? 2 fingers. 2. Well, it seems like I've almost woken up. Can you go downstairs by yourself? Swan nodded. Get up. Swan stood up and walked unsteadily. Jiang Xuening felt a bit uneasy, so she helped him. Dad, Mom, I'll take him back. Remember to leave the door for me tonight. Don't worry, your mother and I will sleep when you come back. You don't have to wait for me. Let's just wait. Jiang Jianzhong's attitude is very resolute. Because if he doesn't wait for his daughter to come back, he won't be able to sleep. Now there are pigs staring at their own cabbage. Although Jiang Xuening didn't know why her father's attitude was so resolute, she still nodded. After Jiang Xuening went downstairs, she opened the car door and stuffed Su En in. If you feel uncomfortable, just lie down. Swan is now almost sober. Jiang Xuening remembered a very important thing. Where is your home? Swan took out his phone, and he has a habit of recording his address in a memo. Because he is very clear about his alcohol tolerance, drinking too much may make it difficult for him to explain clearly. So when I can't explain clearly and need to take a taxi, I will show it directly to the driver. But today he was a bit overshadowed by Jiang Jianzhong. Swan handed her phone directly to Jiang Xuening. In the memo. You can find it yourself. Oh. Jiang Xuening took Su En's phone. Really, just give your phone to someone else casually. Fortunately, you met me, otherwise wouldn't everyone else know about your privacy? I don't know why. Jiang Xuening now likes to complain about Su En. Jiang Xuening opened the memo and searched one by one. Do you still have the habit of taking notes? It's written quite well. Jiang Xuening, who was originally looking for an address, was deeply attracted to Su En's notes. Upon hearing the departure of winter, I woke up in a certain month and year. That's the lyrics. Oh. Do you really know how to write songs? After realizing that she had been caught peeking, Jiang Xuaning switched to silent reading. I met you. It's the most beautiful accident. One day, my mystery will be revealed. When reading the last two sentences, Jiang Xuaning couldn't help but look at Suan. She quite likes these two sentences. After reading it, she found that Suan's writing was really good. Although I haven't heard the music before, this word is actually considered very top-notch. After reading it, Jiang Xuaning still felt a bit guilty. I didn't search for anything else, I really found the address. Found it. After finding the address, Jiang Xuaning put Suan's phone back. It's not what I want to see, isn't it? Purely curiosity. Jiang Xuaning returned to the driver's seat. Zhaoshuyuan.com, Suan's house is downstairs. After arriving at the place, Jiang Xuaning glanced at Suan. Sleeping quite soundly. You only have this tolerance for alcohol. If one day you encounter a wealthy woman or something, and get drunk, you can do whatever you want. Well. From this perspective, it looks quite handsome. But don't worry, sister is definitely not the kind of person who takes advantage of others. Hey, wake up. You're home. Swan rubbed her eyes and looked at Jiang Xuaning. Forget it, I'll send you back. Jiang Xuaning looked at Suan and was very worried that after she left, Suan would lie directly in the flower bed of the community. Jiang Xuaning got off the car and helped Suan out. Fortunately, your address is detailed enough. According to the address, Jiang Xuaning helped Suan outside the house. She now feels that her body is bearing an unbearable weight. Here it is. Here it is. After arriving home, Jiang Xuaning found the key from Suan's pocket. After placing him on the sofa in the living room, Jiang Xuaning panted heavily and looked at Suan, who was once again asleep. My little ancestor. You really took my sister's life. Sleep. Still sleeping. Jiang Xuaning suddenly laughed as she looked at Suan. Laughing inexplicably. Because she thought about it, she has never done so much for any man in her life. How to describe this feeling? You may not have done so much for him, but you just can't rest assured. She is also unclear about what kind of psychology this is. Looking at Suan, who was carefree, Jiang Xuaning suddenly had a strange idea. Sister, I have done so much for you, isn't it too much to make you agree with me? Chapter 7. So. Who is the virtual bamboo? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push, why have you always had some strange ideas since I met you? Jiang Xuaning noticed that Suan was motionless. For safety reasons, she tried Suan's breathing. Make sure he just fell asleep instead of dead. Jiang Xuaning brought Suan's coat to cover him. Go to sleep, see you tomorrow. After finishing speaking, Jiang Xuaning turned around and left Suan's home. At the moment when she was about to leave, she inexplicably turned around and glanced at Suan. After returning home, Jiang Xuaning gently opened the door. She thought her parents should be asleep at this point. But the moment she put on her slippers, she felt something was wrong. She instinctively scanned the living room and said, Dad, you're really not sleeping. Jiang Jianzhong, who was sitting in the living room looking at his phone, looked up at his own daughter. Are you back? Dad, take care of something. It's already done, let's go to bed now. Seeing Jiang Xuaning who had already returned, Jiang Jianzhong gradually let go of his suspended heart. Although it was half an hour longer than my estimated time, it was only half an hour and I shouldn't be able to do anything. I've heated up a glass of milk for you. After drinking it, go to bed. Oh. Jiang Jianzhong got up and went back to the bedroom. Jiang Xuaning finished drinking milk and returned to the bedroom. At the moment she closed the room door, she had a feeling. How does it feel like my dad is deliberately staring at me? Illusion. Jiang Xuaning changed into pajamas. She took off her shoes and gradually leaned forward, collapsing directly onto the bed. Sleep now. It's so big, so soft, so comfortable. She picked up a pillow casually and clamped it with her legs. Turn sideways and close your eyes. Just as she was about to sleep, her phone suddenly rang with a thud. Who? Make a phone call at this point. Disturbing people's clear dreams is like killing someone. Haven't parents heard of it? Jiang Xuening, who originally intended to hang up directly, glanced at the caller ID display. This really can't hang, the agent called. Jiang Xuening wanted to struggle for a while and waited patiently. I want to wait for the other party to hang up voluntarily. Jiang Xuening usually has an illusion when she encounters a phone call that she doesn't want to succeed but has to answer. Can't you tell if she'll just hang up on her own? Jiang Xuening gradually regained consciousness after realizing that the phone was almost ringing. She pressed the answer button and turned on the hands-free. What have you been doing all day today? Why haven't you replied to all the messages I've sent you? A cold female voice came from the other end of the phone, and it was obvious that she was suppressing her anger. Faced with the agent's questioning, Jiang Xuening's heart hung in suspense. I didn't see it. I just got home and got ready to go to bed. Don't worry, I will definitely let you know as soon as I have any situation. The reason why Jiang Xuening is so respectful and a bit afraid of her agent is that at least 70% of her performance today comes from her agent. I don't object to your vacation, but the summer season is about to start and the ranking is about to be refreshed. When do you plan to release your songs? The summer music season in the brokerage population is a nickname, and the song chart is refreshed every 3 months. Refreshing 4 times a year, it happens to match the 4 seasons, so over time, it is directly referred to as the 4 seasons. I have found a virtual bamboo cooperation for you, you must seize it well. Chen Xuzhu, the full name of Su Zhu in the brokerage population, is a high-level creator in the industry, belonging to the type used by the Heavenly King and Empress Dowager. That word has been read and heard by Jiang Xuening. She doesn't really like it personally. The lyrics and music are all the same, the kind of tone that is lost and regained after a breakup. The lyrics and music are all very good, but personally, Jiang Xuening doesn't think she can handle them. She hasn't even been in a relationship. Where did she come from to handle that style of experience? Sister, I feel that song is not very suitable for me. I have never been in a relationship before, but that song is about. And she personally feels that the word is not written as well as Su An's. She dare not say that. Swan. Yes. Jiang Xuening suddenly had a flash of inspiration. And what? And I know a creator, and I think his songs are very suitable for me. Jiang Xuening's tone gradually became excited. Do you still know the creator? Who do you look down on? That creator is very talented. The agent was half convinced and half skeptical. Does he have fame? If you don't have fame, don't think about it. This is your opportunity to leap to the top line, and the fame of the creators will also increase. Moreover, Virtual Bamboo is indeed quite talented. I don't know why, but hearing the agent say that, Jiang Xuening suddenly felt a little uncomfortable in her heart. Why is the person I know necessarily inferior to Su Zhu? Du Wang Ho, generals, and prime ministers have seeds. Is fame so important? The agent was taken aback. In her words, Jiang Xuening's condition is rare. How about this? I'll send you that friend's song. If you don't think it's good, I'll send you the one from Xuzhu. How about that? The agent pondered for a moment, but ultimately agreed. On the one hand, she was a bit curious about what kind of creators Jiang Xuening knew these days. On the other hand, she knows Jiang Xuening's personality and will not easily change it once it is determined. Okay, that's settled then. You should go to bed early. After finishing speaking, the agent hung up the phone. Jiang Xuening has always been resentful of his agent's words. Why must one have fame? Why can one casually deny a person's talent without listening to anything? The more I thought about it, the more angry I became. In the end, Jiang Xuening discovered something at the Shuyuan website www.zhaoshuyuan.com. I seem to have insomnia. The next morning, Jiang Xuening looked at the thick black circles under her eyes for a while. It's already 8 o'clock. He should have gotten up, right? Forget it, forget it. Jiang Xuening directly dialed Su En's phone number. If you don't pick her up, hit her again. If you don't pick her up the second time, call her again. What time is it and still sleeping? Are you a pig? Finally, on the fourth attempt, the phone was connected. Hello. Swan just woke up. Yes, that's right, he was awakened by Jiang Xuening's phone call. What's wrong? You just woke up, the bubble sound is so loud. Yeah, wasn't it because you woke me up? Yeah, it's already 8 o'clock. How can you sleep? Swan. No, what kind of brain circuit are you, sister? By the way, that song about meeting you was my most beautiful surprise. What song is it? Meeting you was my most beautiful surprise. Su-en thought for a moment and said, it's called Meeting. Can you share the lyrics and music with me? I'm quite interested in that song. Oh. I'll sleep a little longer and send it to you later. Still asleep? Don't you want to prove that you're stronger than Su Zhu? Aren't you guys all very competitive? Who is Xu Zhu? Swan thought carefully and confirmed that she didn't know this person. No, who is the virtual bamboo? You don't have to worry. Swan. What? You must be stronger than him. So. Who exactly is the virtual bamboo? Chapter 8. Belongs to her mystery, as if it has already been uncovered. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push, know who exactly is the virtual bamboo? Swan still didn't understand this question after Jiang Xuening hung up the phone. But the only certainty is that I definitely can't sleep anymore. He opened the computer and sent the lyrics and music to Jiang Xuening. They added WeChat a long time ago, but there hasn't been much interaction before. Swan. So why are you asking for these? Jiang Xuening kept staring at her phone. After Su-en sent over the lyrics and music, she immediately opened the music. She has a habit of reading lyrics while listening to the accompaniment every time she listens to a new song. To find a feeling. As soon as the piano for the prelude came out, she was immediately attracted. This prelude how ear-catching. Listening to the accompaniment and looking at the lyrics, she realized that this song was a bit different from what she had in mind. Just saw the word. The feeling she felt before listening to the music was like a confession to her beloved. I met you as the most beautiful accident. This lyrics looks like a confession. But after listening to the accompaniment, she gained a new understanding. This is actually more like a girl confessing herself. It can be considered a kind of imagination about emotions. What kind of dialogue do I have when I meet someone? What a distant future is the person I am waiting for. At first, Jiang Xuening felt that the last line was the most touching, but after listening to the accompaniment, she felt the most about these two lines in the chorus. She thinks this song is very suitable for her. Firstly, she has never been in a relationship before, and this song expresses what she wants to say both in terms of lyrics and music. Secondly, she has confirmed that Xuzhu definitely does not have Su Wanxiang. Not to mention anything else, she hasn't had the urge to record songs immediately for a long time. Jiang Xuening quickly got dressed and didn't have time to type, so she spoke directly. Immediately, go downstairs and wait for me. I'll contact you and we'll go record the song now. I am 100% certain now that you are stronger than the virtual bamboo. Even if the virtual bamboo is stronger and more famous, can it be as powerful as the treasure I dug up, sister. Jiang Xuening spoke to Suan as she walked out, with a hint of arrogance in her tone. What do you want to eat? I'll bring it for you. Speaking, Jiang Xuening went straight out. The elderly couple at home exchanged a glance. Silent to each other. On the other side, Suan just finished listening to the message sent by Jiang Xuening. I will definitely be stronger than virtual bamboo. Am I her treasure? Jiang Xuening made such a long speech. He absorbed these two key pieces of information. He shook his head helplessly. This sister is really quite interesting. He felt that Jiang Xuening was like a young girl who had not grown up, as if she had endless vitality. The key is, she's doing a lot of things without a clear idea, and even a bit disconnected. But Swan found herself not averse to this kind of detachment and vitality. Although I don't really want to cooperate with Jiang Xuening, with her personality, she should be on the road long ago at this moment. Swan washed up briefly and then received news from Jiang Xuening again. I'm downstairs, do you need me to go up? This is one of the reasons why Suan is willing to cooperate with Jiang Xuening. Even if you don't cooperate, she will try her best to make you cooperate. No need, I'll finish washing up right away. Swan quickly tidied up after sending the message and then went downstairs. Jiang Xuening stepped on the accelerator and drove the car in front of Suan, opening the car window and staring at him. Sure, I haven't seen you all night and I've become handsome again. After Suan got into the car, she glanced at Jiang Xuening. Is this your new way of approaching people? No, I never approach anyone except you. Swan smiled and shook her head. He now has a thorough understanding of Jiang Xuening. Good news. She's a beautiful woman. Bad news. It seems like I'm not very smart. Oh, I brought you breakfast. Swan glanced at the breakfast prepared by Jiang Xuening for him. 2 cups of soybean milk and 1 steamed bun. Oh. Soybean milk is what the boss left yesterday, so buy 1 get 1 free. How about I work hard and frugally to keep the house? Swan. Jiang Xuening spoke while driving. Why did you suddenly need to record a song? Oh. The summer music season is about to start, and my agent asked me to post songs. I found someone named Chen Shuzhu, but I don't think it's suitable. Who? Chen Shuzhu. Suan finally realized that Jiang Xuening was referring to Chen Shuzhu as the virtual bamboo. Chen Shuzhu is already in his 40s this year. Wang Yiyun, a regular on the classic playlist, although Suan has never heard of his songs, he can be seen on hot searches every day. They are all urging him to write songs. Did you refuse? No, your song doesn't work, I'll use it again. By the way, as for the song, the company is going to draw 30% of the profits, but personally, I won't charge you any more. All the profits I earn will be taken care of by my sister. Looking at the carefree expression on Jiang Xuening's face as she said she wanted to take care of herself, Swan just wants to laugh a bit. So, have I met a wealthy woman? The two of them chatted all the way to the recording studio. Jiang Xuening had already arranged for the person in charge of the recording studio. After the two got off the car, a middle-aged man took the initiative to come over and say hello. Xuening, long time no see. Who is this? The middle-aged man naturally shifted his gaze to Suan. Swan glanced at Jiang Xuening, who didn't want to reveal his identity as a creator. I am her newly taken care of fresh meat. Jiang Xuening chuckled when she heard it. You have some enlightenment. The middle-aged man saw at a glance that their relationship was not simple, so he didn't continue to ask. Led by the middle-aged man, Suan and Jiang Xuening arrived inside the recording studio. You guys recorded, I'll leave first if I have something to do. Thank you, Fij. We'll treat you to dinner another day. A small matter. After speaking, the middle-aged man left the recording studio. Jiang Xuening looked at Suan and said, we're the only ones left. Let's start. Swan nodded and Jiang Xuening entered the recording studio. After both of them were almost ready, Jiang Xuening gestured okay. After the accompaniment sounded, Jiang Xuening stared at Suan like this. For some reason, she used to need to check her form, but now she doesn't need it at all. She closed her eyes and a series of images flashed through her mind. I have a diary that I wrote in high school. Endless imagination of the future when debuting. There is also a scene of meeting Suan for the first time. Every paragraph is her precious memory. Hearing the departure of winter. I woke up in a certain year or month, I want to. Wait. I look forward to. The future cannot be arranged for this on a cloudy day. In the evening. Outside the car window, there is someone waiting in the future. Looking for Shuyuan www.jiaoshuyuan.com, left, right looking forward, how many turns does love take to come? Jiang Xuening suddenly opened her eyes and looked at Suan outside the recording studio. Although this song is a self-narration, if there is an answer in my heart, it is a love letter. Who I met, what kind of dialogue will there be, what is the future of the person I am waiting for? I hear the wind coming from the subway and the sea of people, I line up, holding the number card of love. I don't know if it's because of watching Suan, but Jiang Xuening gradually sang in. Especially during the interlude, while Suan was not paying attention, Jiang Xuening quietly gestured for love. On a cloudy day. In the evening. Outside the car window there is someone waiting in the future, left right looking forward, how many turns does love take to come? What kind of dialogue do I have when I meet someone? What is the future of the person I am waiting for? I heard the wind coming from the sea of people, I'm in line. Holding the number card of love, so. Can you tell me when you can reach me? I fly forward flying over a sea of time. We have also been hurt in love, I look at the road, the intersection of the dream is a bit narrow, I met you, it was the most beautiful accident. One day. My mystery will be revealed. When she finished singing, Jiang Xuening looked at Suan and laughed. Because she understands one thing. The answer to her mystery seems to have been unraveled. Chapter 9. Is not. Did you two really talk? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push. After the last ending, Jiang Xuening took off her earphones. Swan looked at her and gave her a thumbs up. It has to be said that in terms of singing skills, Jiang Xuening really doesn't have to pick on her voice, which carries a sense of ethereal spirit. In addition, the emotions were very in place, and the overall effect recorded was very good. Swan made a bold decision. Just use this version. The most important thing for a singer is their state of mind, and if they continue to record it, they may not be able to achieve such an effect. Swan told Jiang Xuening about this news. Jiang Xuening walked out of the recording studio in some surprise. Isn't it recorded now? I think this version is quite good. So that means I'm doing very well, right? Is there any reward based on my good performance? Jiang Xuening looked at Suan with an expectant expression on her face. Isn't it that you are a child, and if you perform well, you will be rewarded? The children all have rewards, why don't the adults? Okay, this is the first time Suan has heard the word, big friend. Looking at the hopeful expression on Jiang Xuening's face, Suan really couldn't bear to refuse her. She's also a baby over 200 months old. What reward do you want? I want you to like me. Swan. Are you serious? Jiang Xuening nodded. Actually she was quite nervous. Because. After all, it's also her first time confessing to someone else. And it's still playing straight balls. He won't refuse me, will he? Should I be rejected for my first confession? Looking at Suan without speaking, Jiang Xuening still felt quite uneasy in her heart. She finally understood that sentence, not that I dare not take the initiative, but that I think it is more appropriate to get along with you as a friend. Sometimes it may seem like a brave step, but in reality, it's very likely that you've blocked all your escape routes actually. I think it's also good for us to be friends, after all, I'm not a big friend either. It doesn't matter whether there are rewards or not. Jiang Xuening exhaled a breath. Let go of all the pressure in my heart. Although I quickly adjusted my emotions, the disappointment on my face still couldn't be hidden and revealed. No, I'm thinking, it's my first time liking someone, so I don't have much experience. So, what should I do? Isn't he teasing me? He agreed. Is it really fake? In an instant, Jiang Xuening felt her heart racing wildly. It seems a bit out of control. But this time the heart rate is completely different from the previous few times. This time she had a feeling. She didn't know how to describe this feeling. Anyway, she felt that the air around her had become fresh, and her whole world seemed to be a bit different. Is this the feeling of love? Jiang Xuening didn't know where the courage came from and reached out a hand to actively approach Suan. Then, at the moment of touching his palm, hold it tightly. Fingers and Swan's fingers were tightly clasped together. I'm not very good at it either, but we can. Take it slow. If you can't learn to be an adult who knows how to love, then you can start with being an adult first. Children all know that love is dividing your favorite sugar by half, so can we still not know? Although I don't know where Jiang Xuening came from, these seemingly reasonable theories are hard to come by. But after saying these things, Jiang Xuening suddenly realized something. But if you dare to intentionally indulge in love again in the future, I will break your leg. Swan suddenly smiled and deliberately let go of the hand holding Jiang Xuening. So cruel. Forget it, I still don't like you. At that moment, Jiang Xuening panicked and quickly took Su En's hand. I didn't say I would definitely break your leg. Besides, even if I do, I can still take care of you and take care of you. I don't mind you. Why does this sound so strange? It sounds like comfort, but how does it feel more like a threat? I'm hungry, let's go eat. Swan nodded and walked out of the recording studio with Jiang Xuening. After getting on the car, Jiang Xuening glanced at Suan. Your exclusive driver is online. Let's go. Goal, the other side of happiness. Speaking, Jiang Xuening started the car. The two of them found a hot pot restaurant. Jiang Xuening ordered many of her favorite dishes and then handed the menu to Suan. After selecting the menu, Suan is ready to hand it to the waiter. Hey. Wait. Swan thought Jiang Xuening wanted to add more vegetables, so she handed her the menu. Jiang Xuening took out her phone and took a picture of the menu. Alright, get ready to serve. What are you doing? Record your favorite dishes so that I can help you order them next time. Swan was stunned for a second, then couldn't help but ask sincerely. Are you sure this is your first time dating? Yeah, what's wrong? Jiang Xuening recalled for a moment and immediately knew why Suan asked so. Have you ever heard of the most commonly used term for recommending someone's sibling relationship online? What? Your older sister has one advantage. What are the advantages? It hurts people. He guessed that Jiang Xuening would say a lot of truth, but he didn't expect Jiang Xuening to be so direct. Don't worry about falling in love with your sister. Find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com and your sister won't let you suffer any injustice. Send me today's song. Hurry up, I need to send it to my agent to prove that you are stronger than Su Zhu. Swan smiled and shook her head, sending the processed song to Jiang Xuening. Jiang Xuening immediately forwarded it to her agent upon receiving it. Jiang Xuening. The new song has been recorded, Sister Wu, please listen to it. After sending it, Jiang Xuening could already imagine how shocked his agent would be upon receiving the news. Thinking about Jiang Xuening makes me feel very proud. This talented man has fallen into the hands of his sister. What are you laughing at? Is it so obvious? It's okay, let's eat. Before eating, Jiang Xuening took a photo of hot pot and posted it on her social media. Jiang Xuening. Meeting you is the most beautiful accident. After posting, she specifically at Suen and then blocked the agent. She doesn't want her agent to know that according to her personality, truly loving someone will find ways to let the world know. She just felt that it would be quite unpleasant to receive questioning from her agent at this time. What are you doing? Show your love. Who has been in love and still hides it? You're so excellent, it's not that you can't handle it. Swan didn't know what to say for a moment. Growing so big, it seems that in Jiang Xuening's eyes, she has no flaws. Jiang Xuening received a message as soon as she put down her phone. It's broken. Forgot to block her. The only thing she wants to block when she's in love is her. Su Xingjie. No, did you two really talk? In chapter 10, I saw new people laughing, but who heard old people cry? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push. Jiang Xuening didn't know how to explain the message sent by Su Xingjie for a moment. After all, the day before, I was still making a vow that I wouldn't be in a relationship with Suen, but after only one day, I changed my mind. So she can't do anything about it either. Love has arrived, do you watch it slip away? Jiang Xuening took a deep breath and picked up her phone to reply to Su Xingjie. Jiang Xuening. Listen to my explanation. I really like Suen, definitely not on impulse. Although this matter may seem hasty, don't worry, I will definitely treat Suen well. After finishing typing, Jiang Xuening looked at it again to confirm that there were no sentences that were not fluent or inappropriate in their wording. After confirming everything was correct, Jiang Xuening nervously pressed the send button. Although pursuing my best friend's younger brother is a bit wrong. But it's still that sentence. You don't have control over loving someone. So, who can go against their true intentions? After doing a good job in psychological construction, Jiang Xuening started eating hot pot. She had just started eating when her phone screen lit up. Su Xingjie. What enchanting soup did Suen give you? Su Xingjie. Where do you like him? Su Xingjie. No. I didn't realize you were a romantic brain before. And besides, it's still my younger brother. What's the point of him? Jiang Xuening glanced at the information. Faced with the three deadly questions, Jiang Xuening felt a bit confused. Why is this different from what she thinks? Jiang Xuening. I really like him. Seriously. He doesn't have a romantic brain, don't worry. Su Xingjie. So can you tell me where you're interested in him? Jiang Xuening. I can't say either, maybe it's him. I just want to stay with him now. Su Xingjie did not reply for a long time. Swan's phone screen lights up. Swan just glanced at it but didn't reply. Su Xingjie, sister. If you dare to disappoint my best friend, I'll break your leg. Jiang Xuening noticed an unread message on Suen's phone. Who is it? Selling phone packages, it's okay. Oh, you eat. Jiang Xuening picked up a freshly cooked piece of fat beef and put it into a Suen bowl. On the other hand, Agent Wu Ting, who is currently handling work, received a message from Jiang Xuening. She is reviewing the contract and specific promotional plan sent by the brand that collaborates with Jiang Xuening. After discovering that Jiang Xuening had sent a new song, she put on Bluetooth earphones, clicked on the music, and continued to check the contract. Hearing winter, leaving. I woke up in a certain year or month. Just as she heard the first two sentences, Wu Ting's fingers holding the mouse and sliding the scroll wheel stopped. I want to. Wait. I look forward to. The future cannot be arranged for this on a cloudy day. In the evening. Outside the car window there is one waiting in the future, left right looking forward, How many turns does love take to come? What kind of dialogue do I have when I meet someone? What is the future of the person I am waiting for? I hear the wind coming from the subway and the sea of people. I'm standing in line holding the number card of love, when you hear the interlude. Wu Ting closed her laptop, picked up her phone, and turned off the music. She called Jiang Xuening directly. The phone rang for a long time before connecting. What are you doing? What's wrong with eating? With whom? Are you in a relationship? Wu Ting got straight to the point, and when she heard this song, she realized that Jiang Xuening was very likely to be in love. Why did you suddenly think of asking this? It's okay, curious. Jiang Xuening did not shy away from this question. As the saying goes, if her career affects dating, she would rather leave the circle with her personality. This is not a love brain. Jiang Xuening has always believed that she can have a career ambition, but the premise is that this career cannot affect her life and cannot interfere with any of her decisions. Doing business is for making money. What is making money for? Of course, it's about enjoying life. So Jiang Xuening seems to have openly admitted to her love affair. I am a singer, and talking about it won't affect my work. Can't artists just fall in love? Wu Ting didn't answer Jiang Xuening's rhetorical question directly. So that's talk. The silence on the other end of the phone directly confirmed Wu Ting's conjecture. After all these years, she still knows what kind of personality Jiang Xuening has. As for why, there is also a reason to suddenly ask this. Jiang Xuening refused Chen Shuzhu and sang someone else's song, which Wu Ting could understand. But is this so-called newcomer really a newcomer? With so many years of experience and judgment, it is impossible for Wu Ting to write this song as a newcomer. Both the lyrics and music were well handled, and even. Wu Ting felt a bit attracted. She couldn't be sure about anything else, but perhaps this song was more suitable for Jiang Xuening than the one by Su Zhu. She admits that it cannot be ruled out that this song was written by a newcomer, but if that's the case, there is only one possibility. That person is a rare genius. So Wu Ting's judgment is that Jiang Xuening should have been in a relationship with someone in the circle and didn't want to tell herself, so she casually found a reason. Can I know who you're dating? He is the creator of that song. After hearing Jiang Xuening's answer, Wu Ting found that her guess was basically all right. What is his real name? Jiang Xuening was stunned for 2 seconds upon hearing the agent's question. Just call her Su-an, what's wrong? Listening to Jiang Xuening's puzzled tone, Wu Ting suddenly had a judgment in her heart that she didn't even believe. Is it really a newcomer? If he is really a newcomer, so Wu Ting is a bit hesitant to continue thinking. Because if the person who wrote this song is really a newcomer, it represents something. The entire music industry is afraid of an earthquake. Is he a newcomer? It can't be completely calculated. A company approached him before, but he didn't sign. Su Xingjie had told her about these things before. Can I see him? Wu Jie, do you want to see him? Yes, if possible. I can go to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com to coordinate with the company and sign him off. Wu Ting's tone was clearly not as calm as before. She is also someone who has seen big storms, and can even be said to be a stirring presence in the entertainment industry. But at this moment, she admits that her heart is very excited. She has been working hard in the entertainment industry for so many years, relying on her exceptional vision and swift and decisive style of action. Wu Ting's only purpose is to help artists solve all seemingly tricky problems. But there is a prerequisite for being her artist, which is to have enough potential. Jiang Xuening was selected by Wu Ting when she first joined the company, and she has been leading her for so many years. The fact proves that she was right to bet on Jiang Xuening. In just 3 years, Jiang Xuening has gone from being a small transparent resource that needs to be allocated by the company to being the top performer that the company must retain even at exorbitant prices. If this Su-an can really sign into her hands. So she firmly believes that she will become the most influential agent in the entertainment industry in the next decade. If this song is released, I'm afraid the summer season will become lively again. Wu-Ting is now looking forward to how far Soo-eun can go in this summer music season. Actually, even if we can't sign Soo-eun, it's also earned. Because Wu-Ting was incredibly convinced of something. With this song, Jiang Xuaning can definitely take it to the next level. Wu-Ting smiled. Oh, that's really interesting. Those old folks should also make way. Having been in the entertainment industry for so many years, Wu-Ting understands a truth. There is always an unchanging cruel rule in the entertainment industry. I saw new people laughing, but who heard old people cry?